Hey designers, today we're working on creating a cartoon cookie logo in Adobe Illustrator. To begin, we're going to create the cookie. Start by selecting the ellipse tool and draw an ellipse on your artboard. Next, apply a brown color from your chosen color palette. Align this ellipse vertically and horizontally within the artboard by using the Align panel. Go to the top menu, select Effect, then choose Distort and Transform and click on Zigzag. In the zigzag settings, adjust the size and segments according to your taste. For this design, I'm reducing the segment count to 3 to give it a simple, smooth, wavy look. Make sure you select smooth rather than corner to keep the curve soft. Next, let's add a stroke to the cookie. Choose a dark brown color for the stroke and increase its width to give the cookie more definition. Now, let's move on to the hand of the cookie. We'll only need a stroke here, no fill. With the line in place, press A to activate the direct selection tool and adjust the anchor points to make the hand curved, giving it a more organic look. To place the hand behind the cookie, press Ctrl plus Shift plus right square bracket to bring the cookie forward, ensuring the hand stays behind. We'll create the fingers and thumb using the ellipse tool and apply some adjustments for a more cartoonish feel. To start, make sure your foreground and background colors are set to black and white, and draw an ellipse. Now, draw a larger ellipse on top of it, and make sure they are aligned by using the Align panel. Next, create another ellipse for the finger, but this time, make it more oval-shaped. Once you have this oval, duplicate it by selecting it, holding Alt, and dragging it. Rotate this duplicated oval slightly, adjusting its position to look more like fingers. Now that we have two fingers in place, we'll create the folded fingers. Select one of the ovals, duplicate it again using Alt plus drag, and scale it down to make it smaller. This will represent the first folded finger. Repeat the process to create the second folded finger, rotating and scaling it as needed. Select the ellipse tool again and draw a new ellipse for the thumb. After positioning it, use the direct selection tool, shortcut key A, to adjust the anchor points, shaping it to look more like a thumb. If you need to fine-tune the shape, use the scissors tool to cut two anchor points. Once you cut the shape, press A again, select the area you want to separate, and delete it. Now, use the pen tool to draw a curved line where the thumb bends. Once the curve is drawn, select all of the shapes, the fingers and thumb, and apply a thicker stroke to give them more definition. Adjust the stroke's width for uniformity or play with variations in thickness to give it a more dynamic look. When you're happy with the adjustments, select all the parts of the hand and press Ctrl plus G to group them. Now, place the hand on top of the cookie by dragging it into position, and adjust the rotation until it looks just right. Let's go ahead and create the chef's cap for the cookie character now. We'll begin by using the rectangle tool to draw a simple rectangle at the top of the cookie. With the rectangle selected, use the anchor point tool to click on the bottom anchor points and curve the bottom part, giving it a soft, rounded look. Next, use the ellipse tool to draw a circle, which will form the top part of the chef's cap. Create 3 circles in total, stacking them slightly to resemble the puffy shape of the cap. Once your circles are aligned and scaled the way you like, select all of them and use the Shape Builder tool to combine them into a single shape. This merges all the circles, forming the main body of the cap. Adjust the stroke uniformity to your liking, experimenting with different thicknesses and styles until it looks just right. Now, place the chef's cap on top of the cookie's head by dragging it into position. Use the ellipse tool again to draw an oval for the first eye. Give it a brownish stroke that matches the style of the cookie. Increase the stroke size to make it pop more. Then, draw a smaller oval inside the first one, filling it with a brown color and removing the stroke. This will be the pupil. Adjust its placement so it's centered inside the larger oval. To add some shine to the eye, draw an even smaller oval and fill it with white. Once the first eye is done, select all the ovals that make up the eye and press Ctrl+G to group them. Now, duplicate the entire eye by holding Alt and dragging it to the right to create the second eye. Position it symmetrically with the first one. Now, for the mouth, we'll use the ellipse tool to draw a circle. Select the top anchor point of the circle with the direct selection tool and press backspace to delete it, turning the circle into a half circle. Apply a stroke to the shape and remove the fill. You can also change the stroke uniformity for a smoother or more cartoonish effect. Adjust the stroke width to make the mouth stand out more. With the mouth in place, your cute cookie is almost complete. Let's add a few details to enhance the look by creating some chocolate chips. Use the ellipse tool to draw random circles on the cookie. For variety, select a few of the circles and decrease their opacity, giving them a slightly lighter appearance. This creates a sense of depth and randomness, making the cookie more playful. Now, let's move on to the second hand. Select the hand, right-click on the group, go to Transform, and select Reflect. In the Reflect options, choose Copy to create a mirrored version of the hand. Now, move this new hand to the opposite side of the cookie and adjust its placement. To ensure the hands are behind the cookie, select both hands, right-click, choose Arrange, and select Send to Back. Once the hands are in place, your cookie character is complete. Select all the elements that make up the cookie, including the cap, hands, eyes, mouth, and chocolate chips, and press Ctrl+G to group them. Now scale the entire character down slightly and move it to the side, making space for the text. Let's move on to adding the brand name. Select the text tool and type in the word suite. Choose a font that fits well with the playful style of your design. Once you've found a good font, make sure the text is in all caps by selecting the text, going to More Options in the Character panel, and choosing all caps. Next, type Cake on the next line, and then corner below that. Adjust the font sizes to balance them out. Since corner has more letters, it will need to be a bit smaller than sweet and cake. Adjust the spacing between the letters for each word as needed to ensure a cohesive look. Let's work on scaling and adjusting the text, followed by adding some creative effects to make it stand out. After you've scaled up the text, it's important to make any necessary adjustments to ensure the design looks balanced and visually appealing. Take a moment to review the alignment, spacing, and size of the text in relation to the rest of the design. Once the text is perfectly adjusted, it's time to give it a light color from your existing palette. Select all the text, and apply the light color that complements the overall design. Go to the Windows menu and open the Appearance panel. This is where we'll add some layered effects to the text. Click on the Add Fill icon to add a new fill. We'll need 2 fills and 1 stroke for the effect. For the first fill, choose white from your color palette. This will serve as the base color for the text. Now, for the second fill, choose black. With the black fill selected, go to Effects in the top menu, search for Distort and Transform, and click on Transform. In the Transform settings, you can adjust the number of copies. Start by increasing the number of copies and adjust the horizontal and vertical movement to 1px each. Since you're working with a small artboard size, 400 by 400, the copies might be too many. If the effect looks too heavy, reduce the number of copies until it looks balanced. Once you're happy with the effect, press OK to apply the transformation. Give the text a black stroke. In the Appearance panel, make sure the stroke layer is selected, and move it below the first fill. Increase the stroke weight until it looks visually balanced and enhances the text. Once that's set, it's time to move on to the cookie. Take the cookie character and move it on top of the text layer. Adjust its size by scaling it down so that it appears as though the cookie is sitting in front of the sweet cake corner text. Now, let's create the legs for the cookie. Use the pen tool to draw a curved line that will serve as one leg. Give it the same brown color from the palette that's already being used for the cookie. Draw a simple shoe shape, using the ellipse tool or pen tool to create a shape that fits the leg. Once the leg and shoe are ready, select both of them and press Ctrl+G to group them. Press Alt and drag the leg to create the second one. Once the legs are in place, select all elements, cookie, text, legs, and press Ctrl+G to group them. Take the cookie character and move it on top of the text layer. Now for the background. Take the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle that covers the entire canvas. Fill it with an orangish color from your palette to complement the design. Move this rectangle behind the cookie and text group to serve as the background. Now, to finish up with the highlights, let's add those final touches inside the cookie. First, select the cookie using the Direct Selection tool. Next, look for the Draw Inside icon in the toolbar or the Properties panel. Once you activate Draw Inside, grab the Brush tool, set the stroke color to white and start drawing inside the cookie. Because you're in the Draw Inside mode, everything you draw will be contained within the boundaries of the cookie shape. Use the Direct Selection tool again to select the white stroke you just created. Adjust the opacity of the stroke to give it a subtle, soft highlight effect. This will make the cookie look glossy and give it a bit more dimension. Once you're happy with the highlights, exit Draw Inside mode and go back to normal drawing mode. Take a moment to review the entire logo. Now your logo is complete. If you'd like to see how this logo can be animated in After Effects, be sure to leave a comment below, as many of my viewers work with both Illustrator and After Effects. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe to Ace Design for more tutorials and creative content.